What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Marvel edition of the Ragin Nation show. This is just a web series where we're talking about all things that matter to me in the world of Marvel films. This is episode number 84, and in this episode, we got to talk about X-Men Apocalypse. And of course, X-Men Apocalypse made quite an impression over at San Diego Comic-Con, over at the Hall H panel. Bryan Singer presented to the fans a trailer that he put together with footage that he got over the course of 5 weeks of filming. Right now, they're still in principal photography, and apparently, the trailer didn't have completed effects, but the trailer rocked the house. The fans were very, very pleased, and this trailer was not made available to the public. It was a trailer that eventually got leaked, and from what I've read on the trailer description, it shows Apocalypse. And while I haven't seen it yet, however, what we're here to talk about is the official first look at the photos of X-Men Apocalypse in production. And this was provided by Entertainment Weekly. And over here you see right now, Entertainment Weekly has its cover graced with the presence of Apocalypse. Check this out. Here is the cover of the latest magazine, the latest issue rather. And we have Psylocke, played by Olivia Munn, Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender, and Apocalypse, played by Oscar Isaac. Wow. This is quite awesome because of the fact that Olivia Munn looks like Psylocke. I had my doubts originally just because, well, I'm not a big fan of Olivia Munn like at all. But she looks the part. She really, really does look the part. And I'm pretty impressed with what I see. Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender, he's always a delight to watch in not only in his films that he, his regular films, not just X-Men, but as Magneto. I think he totally nails it, and I love the way the new costume looks. I mean, Ian McKellen's costume, it was a very simplified version of it, and I didn't really feel anything about it. It didn't look cool, but it also didn't look not cool. It just looked like Magneto, the live-action version. But this looks cool. Now, as for Apocalypse, wow. First of all, I gotta say that Oscar Isaac is completely unrecognizable at all. I wouldn't know who would be playing Apocalypse just from all this makeup and this costume. And just from the chest up view, I can see that... what the hell? Shut up, Siri. Anyways, I said something that triggered Siri to say something. But anyways, just from this chest up view on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, I could see that the, how this is an inspired look of the comic version of Apocalypse. This is obviously a live-action version, so they tweaked it a bit to make it look more, I guess, realistic, okay? Now let's check out this other photo. Here's Apocalypse again, and before I comment on Apocalypse's costume, here's another look at Psylocke, played by Olivia Munn, and like I said, she looks good. I think she looks really, really, really good. So they did a good job with that. And now here's Storm. Check this out. We got Mohawk Storm. This is another very, very classic version of Storm. This is when she has her Mohawk, and I'm glad we're finally seeing this version. We saw Storm played by Halle Berry, but we never got to see the Mohawk version. Now we're finally getting that. And I think that Bryan Singer really feels that, okay, here's what we've seen. Here's what we've given the fans in the entire franchise so far. Let's give them something that they still haven't seen yet. That is something that is very dear to them. So that's why we have this version of Storm. And that is awesome. I'm glad to see this. And now here's Apocalypse again. Now here's where I gotta say that this costume looks a bit, I was expecting a suit of armor, not a costume. This looks like a costume. And I understand where the inspiration came from. It's in Sabanur. So, there's it looks like there's a bit of a Egyptian inspiration, all right? But the comic version didn't look that much like this. It looked more like armor. And I was actually hoping to see armor. I was hoping to see armor, and I was also not expect them to completely have the whole comic book style face, but I was at least expecting him to have white eyes, like not actual pupils. Over here you can see it's a combination of like white and maybe a little bit of red, but still, like I said, Oscar Isaac is completely unrecognizable, and I'm gonna have to agree with a lot of the fans. A lot of the fans are saying that he looks like he stepped out of Power Rangers. He looks like a villain from Power Rangers, and I'm gonna share with you these photos that were posted by some of the Ragin Nation members, and I think it's completely appropriate because we got the villain from Power Rangers, and we also got Mr. Freeze from Batman versus Batman and Robin. Okay, and it looks silly when you really put them together. And now we have freaking Apocalypse with the Power Ranger villains here, and he looks like he belongs in the Power Rangers universe. Okay, now I'm not going to completely hate on this costume, okay? Oscar Isaac is a really, really great actor, so I'm going to see what he brings to the table. But I have a feeling that a lot of people who feel like this up towards the Apocalypse costume are the exact same people and who are giving the exact same feeling of how they felt about Green Goblin in Spider-Man, the very first Spider-Man film in Sam Raimi's film, okay? He looked like a Power Ranger villain, okay? Green Goblin looked like a Power Ranger villain. Apocalypse looks like a Power Ranger villain. And you know what? I'm going to have to agree with the fans that that's what he looks like. But like I said, you know, Oscar Isaac is a great actor. We'll see what he brings to the table. And let's move on. Let's move on to take a look at some of the other photos, okay? Over here we have Bryan Singer giving some direction to Oscar Isaac, and once again another shot of Storm played by Alexandra Shipp. Michael Fassbender standing in the background with some casual clothes on, and now we're seeing the back of Apocalypse's costume. And you know what? I gotta say that in some ways it does look impressive as a costume, but as Apocalypse, you know what? It's just very, very different from what I expected, okay? I expected something that is a little bit closer to the comics. I mean, I could see the tubes, you know how he has the tube stuck to his head? I was expecting to see the tubes on his shoulders, like the way he looks in the comics, but, you know, you can't please everybody, right? I mean, that's Bryan Singer's iteration. Here's a shot of Michael Fassbender. I'm not sure who's in the background. Here is a shot of Jennifer Lawrence as Raven, James McAvoy before he gets his head shaved as Professor X. I'm not sure who that is in the background. I mean, that could be Rose Byrne's character, Moira, and also that's Nicholas Hoult as Beast, but I'm not sure who that is in the background. Could that be? Oh, that's Lucas Till who plays Havoc. That's Havoc right there. And here is Jennifer Lawrence talking to Evan Peters, who plays Quicksilver, and you can see right here that these are their new costumes, okay? You remember the costumes that they wore in X-Men Days of Future Past, you know, the X-Men armored costumes? It looks like that they're bringing that to this episode, or rather this sequel, and they're wearing the black costumes. It's more like armor as opposed to the classic orange and blue jumpsuits, all right? So, yeah, we're getting new costumes. And then the last photo is this part where it says meet the new mutants. And so you have Alexandra Shipp as Storm, you have Lana Condor as Jubilee, and you have Ty Sheridan. I think this is Ty Sheridan. I'm not sure actually. That's Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, and Cody Smith McPhee as Nightcrawler, and also Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. And here's what I gotta tell you about the new mutants. They all look the parts. Alright? I originally was neutral, and some of myself had a little bit of doubt, but after seeing this photo, they are all completely straight out of the comic books. I mean, Storm, obviously. Jubilee, we know where she got her inspiration for the costume. Cyclops, we've seen this version of Cyclops before. This is essentially Scott Summers in plain clothes, okay? And Nightcrawler, he looks like young Nightcrawler. It might not be the classic black and red, you know, V version of this suit, but based on what I can see right here, there's a little bit of red there, a little bit of yellow, and it looks like a young Nightcrawler. And Sophie, or rather Jean Grey, played by Sophie Turner, she looks the part. She completely looks the part. Those production photos didn't do these characters justice. I think all these characters just really, really looked the part. And what I'm seeing right here is the characters in live action right off the pages of the comics. Oscar Isaac, you know, he's a great actor, but that Apocalypse costume, I really need to be sold when I watch the movie. Right now, I can't tell. I'll have to wait for an official trailer to come out before I can really make an opinion about it. But for the most part, I'm gonna have to agree with the fans that does look like a freaking Power Ranger villain. And someone actually mentioned in a comment that Ron Perlman should have played Apocalypse, and I can totally see where you're going with that. Ron Perlman would have made a great Apocalypse based on his face alone. His height, his voice. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. What do you guys think about what Apocalypse looks like? Let me know in the comments section below. As for everybody else, I think they look just fine. And it looks like, you know, I know there was a time in comic book movies where they wanted to make everything realistic. They wanted to make everything very grounded. But I think that the time has come where I'm happy to see these characters just come to life as if they were straight out of the comics. I'm really open to seeing that version. I mean, when from what I understand, the Deadpool trailer really made it feel like, you know, it doesn't have to completely be 100% realistic. They can make it look and feel like the comics. All right, and also when you watch a film like X-Men, or rather Avengers, you know, where you have aliens flying all over the place, and how the heck are they going to mix, you know, the science with aliens and fictional stuff like that? That's stuff that's straight out of the comics. Okay, we no longer need to keep our films grounded anymore. Our comic book movies do not need to be grounded. I think what's important is to stay true to the source material. By staying true to the source material is to bring in all those out of this world fictional elements into live action and make it work. As long as they do that, I think fans will be happy. All right, and I think the number one thing you have to please is the fans. Okay, and that's all I gotta say in this video. Let me know your thoughts about Apocalypse on the comment section below. And as always, if you want to see more and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. The red cakes are coming. The red cakes are coming.